What is up, guys? Welcome back yet to another video. Today's video is actually very exciting because I'm making something that I usually make, and it's from Mexico but in Africa. So today we are making tacos but in like a Kenyan version. So tacos are usually made from a flour called masa, and masa is also made from yellow corn seeds, which are soaked in alkaline. But now, since we don't have masa, I'm making the version that I make usually here in Kenya. So the version that I have is I usually mix all-purpose flour and some corn flour, but the difference is the corn flour that I use is not the one from the shop. This one is a bit coarse, and it's a mix of ratio. So it is yellow corn and white corn together, which are blended up. So this is yellow corn and white corn. If you understand Kiswahili, hii ni unga ya kisiagi, but what I mean is this is directly from taking corn to the factory, and then it is blended, or it is made into flour. So this is the type of flour we use here, or the one that I prefer. This one has more taste than the one from the supermarket, which is purely white bleached. So what I do is I mix. This is regular all-purpose flour, this is all-purpose flour, and then this is corn flour, which is blended. So the ratio here is like 2:1. See, and you don't want to put too much corn flour in this, because it's going to be a little bit brittle, which is going to make your tacos very hard to work with. So 2:1 all-purpose flour and maize flour, some salt and some cooking oil. That is how I make my tortillas or tacos. Tortillas are actually made from all-purpose flour, but if they are made from corn, then they are called corn tortillas. So let's get into this video. This is how I make the flour. So what is remaining here is just adding water and matching up the consistency that I like. For the meat, it's going to be mincemeat. There's going to be some cheese. There's also going to be spring onions. These ones are actually frozen, and yes, you can actually freeze spring onions or tomatoes and use them later, and they're going to be just fine. For the condiments, this is going to make my guacamole. So I have avocado, tomatoes, and white onion, and also this is sauerkraut, which is basically just fermented cabbage, which I'm also going to use. So let's get into this video. Those are all my ingredients for making the tacos, or the Kenyan version of tacos. So let's begin. I've added some water here, and what you're looking for is a nice consistency. Like, it doesn't have to be too hard, but it needs to be a little bit dry. It needs to be dry, and then it needs to be a bit elastic. so not too much water. Don't add too much water into this. Like, you need to be able to stretch it. And also you need to add, you actually need to leave this for a little bit. You need to leave it to rest, rather to rest for a while, or maybe like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, thereabout. It needs to rest. So what I'm looking for right now is consistency. And you can see like it is breaking up when I'm stretching it. So I might need to add some more all-purpose flour. But also, I just might need to just rest it. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it to rest for about 10 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're actually going to be making the meat that is going to go on tacos, or we can actually start with the guacamole. I think we'll start with the guac. So after 20 minutes, we're going to look and see what is going on there. In the meantime, we can make our guacamole. As my flour is resting, we are making the guacamole. These are very nice avocados. It's avocado season. They look very nice. So now, before we start dealing with the flour, Let's start with the meat. So this is the spring onions, some salt, I'll actually start this on fire. So my fire is going. Now I have the mincemeat here. These are the two things that I'm going to use: paprika, garlic powder, and a beef cube, or a Royco cube as we call it here. So now that this is partially cooked, I'm going to add the Royco cube or the beef cube, the paprika, and the garlic powder. The smell that is coming out of this is amazing. Smells very good. I'm going to also add some chili. I think I'll add some chili here. Also adding some chili flakes. I want it a little bit spicy. So you actually don't need to cook this too much. It is actually ready. If you cook this too much, it is going to be dry. So let me taste the seasoning. Needs a little bit more salt. And I'm also going to add some dark soy sauce. For that nice flavor of umami. At this point is when you need to taste your seasoning, and on that taste I'm also going to add some Worcestershire. that really brings out the smell. Smells very good. Wow. So at this point you just need to cook it a little bit, and then that's it. It's going to be good. That is perfect. Has a nice perfect seasoning, has a nice taste. It is perfectly cooked. Has a nice perfect chili. It is very nice. Very nice. So I'm going to put this off the heat, and then I'm going to shave. I'm going to put some cheese on it. So as it is cooling down, I'm going to shave some cheese, and it's going to melt and blend in perfectly. So now, as you can see, the cheese is melting in perfectly. The cheese is melting, it's becoming cheesy, as you can see. That's what I want. So now the meat is ready. Let's go ahead and prepare the tacos. So now let's go back to this. So usually what I do is I take a pinch like that big and you roll it. And if it's rolling perfectly like that, then the ratio is good. A pinch, then you roll it. And you're also going to need to let this rest. So after you do all these, you let them rest for like 10-20 minutes. And then now you can make the tacos as you assemble everything together. if you leave them uncovered or not covered, they're going to form a skin on top, and that is going to bring you problems. So when you let them rest, you need to cover them. So from these, that's how many tacos I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tacos. Then you cover them for like 10-15 minutes. Then you come back to finish everything up. So now let's finish up these tacos. This is the pan that I'm going to use. Hopefully the tacos are not this big. So let's begin. So you need a little bit of flour, and all you need to do is just stretch these tacos. They don't need to be that big, but also they don't need to be small. So what you're going to do first is you're going to partially cook. I'm going to partially cook them. I'm not going to fully cook them, but I'm going to partially cook. And then after partially cooking, then you're going to now finish up cooking. I'm going to finish up cooking it later when I'm assembling everything. So this one is going to be a funny shape, but it's okay. So this is why you need to roll them out in a perfect circle. But it is alright. Alright. No problems. If it has this type of hole, that's why it has going to have a funny shape. So it needs to be nice and round. So at this point, I am moving very fast because my pan is getting hot, and also this needs to be done very quickly. So I'm actually not going to use this pan. I use this pan to make eggs, so it smells a little bit eggy. I'm not going to use it. That smells very bad. So let me use this other pan. So I've exchanged the pans, and that is important because if I put the tacos here and the pan smells eggy, everything is going to smell or taste very eggy. So that's very important. I had to check that pan. It's my egg pan. I use it to make eggs. So you don't need that eggy taste, especially on something this good, tacos. So now let's finish up this rolling. I should have made bigger balls. If I made bigger balls, it would be a bigger taco. But you don't need tacos to be very big. You just need them to be big enough to hold in your filling or your fillings. And it's not the other fillings of the one you think. So as you can see, I'm actually making the tacos even before I start cooking them. Why am I doing this? So that by the time I finish rolling these tacos, all my tacos are going to be partially cooked before I add the fillings. Before I add the filling inside, they're going to be partially cooked. So pan is almost hot. I now need to start cooking the tacos. pan is hot. I'll start cooking these tacos partially. I'm not cooking them all the way through, just a little bit, just a little bit. And you've noticed I've not added any oil. Oil is not needed because we added oil on this flour. We already added oil on it. So now you can see it is a little bit brown and it has some pockets of air inside. So this means it is partially cooked. So I'm going to put them in here. Yeah, just like that. You don't need to put them here for a long time, just a few seconds, and then it's going to be partially cooked like this one. And then when I'm starting to put in the fillings, I'm going to finish it off, which you're going to see. So in the meantime, finish up making these tacos, these taco balls. Just like that. And if you're wondering how it smells like maize. It smells like corn. So it smells really good. And as you can see, this one is partially cooked. Put it in there. Now as you can see, this one did come out very round. This is because I was not doing this. I need to do this. Make sure it is nice and round. So now I am finished with the rolling. I am now finished rolling the tacos. Now it's just partially cooking them. And then when I finish partially cooking them, I am now going to add the filling while they are in here, which I'll show you guys how I do it, so that when it's ready to eat, it is hot. So now I only have like 3 tacos remaining to partially cook, and then I start assembling everything. Very simple. So now I have everything that is ready. I have my reheated meat so that it goes out when it's hot. I have my partially cooked tacos. I have a hot pan. I have my plates here, my guacamole and my sauerkraut. So this is how you assemble the taco. This is partially cooked. So what I'm going to do, you can see this side has color, this other side doesn't have any color. So I put it on my hot pan. I turn the heat up a little bit, and then I add my sauerkraut. Just a little bit of sauerkraut. I add my meat. I add my reheated meat, which has cheese. That's my reheated meat, which has cheese and all the spices we cooked it with. And then I add my guacamole on top. And basically, that is actually very hot. Let me use my tongs to hold this. Fuck. So now I can use my tongs and transfer it. This is actually very hot. Very hot. So now you just repeat the process. Partially cooked tacos right on your hot pan. You add your sauerkraut. You add some of your sauerkraut right there. Your cheesy beef. Let's see how cheesy that is. There's a lot of cheese, but not too much. And then your cool guacamole on top. Just like that. And then now just take it, transfer. Same thing. So you just repeat the process until you get something like this. Now you can see the other side is cooked, which is perfectly cooked. So these are your tacos, easily made. But you can actually do this with any type of meat you want: chicken, turkey, pork, anything. It's up to you. It is up to you, whichever you want. you don't have sauerkraut, you can always use coleslaw. If you know how to make coleslaw, you can use that, or lettuce, doesn't matter. You can use any of those. And also, if you don't like guacamole, you can just use chimichurri or any other condiment you like. It is not going to be any issue. Just use what you like. In a taco, use what you like. You don't have to follow what I do to the letter. Just use what you like. For me, I am using what I'm liking, or what I like. So this is what I like. And guys, it is that simple. That simple to make tacos. A little bit of sauerkraut or coleslaw or lettuce, whichever you have. Your favorite type of meat, cooked in your own liking. You don't have to even cook how I'm cooking. Cooked how you like. And then some guacamole. If not some guacamole, you can use some chimichurri or kachumbari, whatever you like. That's how you make tacos. I'm telling you, these smell like corn. They don't actually smell like baked flour or chapati or roti. They smell like corn. They smell like maize. I should say they smell like maize. And that is it. So now after all this, you can actually use your favorite sauce or tomato paste and just add on whichever one you want or whichever one you like. You can use that, or you can use a burger sauce, anything you want, mayo, mustard, whatever you want. And that is it. That is how I simply make my tacos. Those are my tacos, guys. Tacos. They are hot, they are ready to eat, and they are very simple to make. Those are my tacos. So now, guys, I'm going to enjoy these tacos while they are still hot, and hopefully you learned something you didn't know or something new, and I'll see you in the next video. Let me enjoy my tacos now.